guys, Yin Dragon here. And what I'm gonna do is doing my first expression on the new zombie map, Firebase C, which I've just recorded this morning. And
I got strike team arriving at the village. They're ready to go.
I have to say,
Find Max's and bring her home. Wrap it off.
I
My
really
team's in position.
enjoy this map.
Carlosi, the soldiers of Requiem have arrived. I knew you would heed my warning. It is time to spill unclean blood.
So at the first glance, when you actually spawn, it's a pretty, I say, one of the more interesting spawns. Especially you can do a little bit of parkour skills, especially with the mantle mechanic.
Is it a kill if they're already dead?
Now, there's probably a possibility to get up here by... I'm not sure if I can, but you can actually get up... Oh, I did! Go up here, and then up right here, and up over here, and guess what? You bypass the door. And funny enough, it doesn't give you like that instant down where you need to open a door when you're on a different area. Normally, when you pass a door that you need to buy, they add a death barrier, but I guess for this case, they probably got rid of it. So that's one thing I love, is the parkour you can do.
Great. Now I've got Requiem agents on my turf. Omega will love this. Actually, this might work. Let's test a hypothesis. Requiem agents will restore facility power if offered Agent Maxis as reward. Go. Proceed with caution, team. Do what he asks, then go get Maxis.
And, well, here's the other area, and this is the Omega's Firebase. And I can tell you, this is a large area, large size map, and I love it. Everything about it is so good. Especially in terms of getting the power on, you're required to activate the ether reactor, similar of activating the generators in Origins. And once you do that, of course, you unlock Pack-a-Punch, which is very early on, and that's actually a very nice pace too, very casually as well. Also, at a few certain rounds, like I think every 10 rounds, you're going to have to do a holding out for the assault, or basically defend a wave of zombies coming through from the defenses with the Scorch defense, the Jungle defense, and I think the Rugged defense. But you have a free support, either from artillery strike, napalm strike, and a cruise missile, which usually you get, of course, for free, but afterward it costs you 8,000 points, which is quite a lot. But if you have the chunk of big money to spare, it will actually be worthwhile instead of using your salvage to craft stuff of your support. That we have all new zombies as
Frag
well.
that rotten tango.
We got 3 new ones actually. Well, two familiar faces and one totally brand new. The brand new one is the mimic, those mimic creatures, which they look like, well, the face of a Margra, but they're not really Margra. They have a different stats overall. Where they actually shapeshift into various lootable items. And of course, once they appear, they try to get a jump scare on you. And honestly, they're not that tough to deal with. I find they're very controllable, or at least not much of a sponge compared to the Megatons. Especially they don't, split into 2, which is a good thing. So here's, one of the key pieces to Command the Dragon. As for the other two familiar zombies, we have the Mangler from Ruby. Which is,
Yes, good. Just need the other two back online and we're in business.
it's really
We're in
nice.
business when we get Max's back. Not before, Peck.
Oh, bless me. And of course, Mangler usually spawn around, at least past round 15. And the third and last enemy entry we face is Hellhounds. I would never expect the Hellhounds to be returning. I thought for sure the Plague Hounds was gonna replace it, but I'm glad it wasn't the case. And they spawn at round 25, and then they will continue on. And they behave a little more differently compared to the previous installments, where now they will try to, when they get close, instead of trying to attack you or bite you, they will try to blow up and try to leave a fire, a ground effect, just like a Molotov cocktail. And one thing I'm just really freaking, crying that the dogs die, or the way they howl when they about to explode. They're like, they do just like, about they like do, when they get close to you, they just go out and do, it's like, woo, then boom. They always sound like those woo, like from those freaking Fall Guys. I always say, but this one just does one woo, and then explodes. Okay, since I can't open it, I can't do it. Wow, okay. Makes sense. But there is also technically a fourth enemy they add, but I'm not sure this was, well, it really depends where you get it on the Pacific round. You get it eventually when you're doing your defense.
That's more like it.
And the other one is the big dude who calls himself the Orda. Now he's a very tanky dude, but once you have like a fully decked out weapon, it should be no problem. And here's this one on the sides of the map of the defense. This is Scorch. This is where you're mostly going to have to do it for certain rounds, where they usually come towards these orbs, and they try to rush out, and you have to fight them off, which is kind of cool, just like you do just like in Vietnam. Try to propel from a charging attack. So definitely, I definitely like the idea. It kind of reminds you of the lockdown from Grow Kroby, which I really think that the family of those zombies, that should be the next game mode, and they should make it permanent. I was a little bit disappointed that Treyarch removed Crank into the away from the playlist, because it didn't last that long. I don't even think it lasted like a month. I can't remember the last time when they added Crank. I was really hope they put it back, but or made it stay. But I guess they probably removed this map because, well, this map is probably a little more complicated to try and get power on, especially if you had to do it in Crank. But they could definitely do some changes to it.
Picking them off, left and right.
such as make all the E3 reactor power on automatically, so you can still work
He's
spicing
down
up.
in the village when they need.
As for the new wonder weapon, well, it's called the Ray K84 or Ray K84. It's essentially a ray gun, but in assault rifle shape, and I love it. Now, before, as I'm making this video now, yesterday I had no idea how to use the grenade launcher of it. Even though I do see it.
Got the job done. Come by mission control. I have what you want.
So I had no idea what button to press for the grenade launcher. I tried to press a few other things, but it's actually up on the D-pad, so I have no clue and probably never experienced it. But I did watch how it looks. It's essentially like a ray gun Mark III. This time you use a grenade launcher, then you have to shoot a few of the projectiles inside the orb, and then they will explode. Kind of like that effect. I mean, that sort of setup kind of also reminds me of the VR11 from Call of the Dead, where you shoot when you have a fully packed punch, shoot at a human zombie, and then you shoot it a couple more times, it explodes, and the explosion does infinite damage. And it kills all of them in the vicinity. As for the new work of Tombstone, a lot of people say it's a little bit buggy, but I do have to say it's a returning, well, of a returning perk. My first expression with Tombstone, well, I will cover more on it later. Let's just say this is definitely an improvement and basically a mix between Tombstone and Who's Who. Now, hopefully they would probably fix whatever the bug, which was a problem with it. Most specifically the tier 3 of it. Then hopefully it gets a lot better. And the map is, well, I just really love the atmosphere. And I also get a little bit of Shangri-La vibe when you spawn in. So it kind of reminds you of Shangri-La quite a bit here. Oh, wait, is that
Undead hostile, KIA.
And also able to get the Ray K84 is pretty straightforward. And the best part about that weapon, you can also pack-a-punch it unlike the die machine weapon. So you can upgrade it to at least 3 times. And it does a lot of damage, and honestly this is probably one of my favorite wonder weapons in the entire series because, well, normally wonder weapons are always powerful in one hit, but sometimes I like to make points with the wonder weapon. Well, they did with kind of with the Ray Gun Mark II, but now with the Ray K84, and of course I have a fondness for assault rifles. Those two will go together very well. And it's just pretty fun. And in terms of...
Now that's the kind of intel I've been hoping for. Let's find the parts and assemble this weapon.
Now, there's one thing I hate about going for this
If you want
quest.
Oakley's secret weapon, you will need his special key. He kept it on his person at all times. Find him, find key.
And the one thing I hate about it is... it is really, really bad. And the reason
Talk
for it
about
is...
meatball surgery.
you had to make sure you, there's a computer that shows the same, like, pie circle, just like the dartboard. And you basically have to, shoot the 3 numbers in order. Now, is probably a problem for me with Mac 10 because it shoots pretty fast, so I can't just control it in one shot.
Dude. Finish the mob.
I like how when you pull out the eye out, it just spawns more zombies. But now it sounds talking a little bit bad about this step. Now I could probably... Well, I also think that... Also, I love the trials here. I think the trials is... I love how they return it. Of course, that means we get more intel as well. Well, more Dark Aether intel. But I do have my problem with the trials. Some of them, there's so many objectives when it comes to remain in that area. Which, to me... it's quite boring. I'm not really complaining of how easy it is if I get rewarded still, but giving a lot of challenge that comes from remaining in
The
these
locker room.
areas
That key you picked up is gonna fit one of them.
is really bad. Frustrating to do, especially if you're trying to go for your intel, and you have this. Wait it out. Usually you keep one zombie alive. Ooh, okay, you know what? I don't give a damn. I'll buy ammo. And I basically got my money back.
Take more than you to beat a baker.
Looks like Cool is hiding his ray rifle prototype. Find the rest of it.
Is... what was the thing? Oh yeah, when it comes to killing a mimic, their screams is so loud. Like, even if I turn like a little bit of the volume a little bit low, like the sound volume a little bit low, it is still loud and annoying. So hopefully they would tone that down in, well, the next update, or, well, the next hotfix. Hopefully went before the Easter eggs has been open. So yeah, they disabled the Easter eggs, so they want to give everyone a head start. I presume they don't want any bugs, which normally when you're doing Easter eggs, it causes a lot of bugs. Well, I know that from the experience with Black Ops 4 at launch.
Throwing grenade.
So what do I have to say? Well, that's mostly a lot of positive, but now we're to the, well, to the bad side. One is the exfil. They made the exfil way too easy, as they all spawn inside the trench in these swords. So once you activate the radio here, you just run over to here. There's no zombies here. There's no zombies around, and you can just fight here, and then whip out a chopper gunner, and you win. That's literally it. In Die Machine, I had to do a lot of tasks, like keep the 2 doors, or at least 3 doors, closed. And also, I would have to use monkey bombs, and then a war machine, and using the Ring of Fire. And it feels satisfying that I use everything I have just to push through to the exfil. But in Firebase C, I don't feel that same kind of adrenaline that means to keep pushing through. It feels like they just give up on it, which hopefully they would make it better. I mean, especially the part where they didn't really add much of other special enemies. I would be awesome if they would include like Mimics, Hellhounds, Manglers, and hell, even Ordar. To get some love into it too. It would probably make it even more interesting. So, overall, I am having a fun time with this map. I love so many parkour you can do around the spawn. And with all the mantling mechanics and all that, it makes it even more enjoyable. I love the map style. I think this is one of my favorites, and plus, this looks very original. A lot of people may have some vibe to it, like mixed bag between. It looks like Ascension quite a little bit, almost kind of does, or RA, like a multiplayer map, but at the same time, I don't see much of a connection between similarities. So to me, this is a totally brand new map and very originality. So I really gonna have a fun time playing this map, and well, gonna enjoy a lot more now. Oh, by the way, I know a lot of people don't like the fact that you can't get any, the Mimic and the Mangler do not count as elite kills. I don't know if Ordar kind of counts. I mean, he should be, since he's such a big dude. But the problem with it, though, I think it's because they spawn so many of them. So many of these Mimics and Manglers. Which is probably why they don't count them as elite. Instead, they call them, what, super zombies? Even though they have like an elite icon. Now, I know a lot of people may be disappointed that they're looking for a map to at least replace the Megatons for elite kills. Which I don't think they even count for Onslaught too, since the Mimic and Mangler are in Onslaught. So making Die Machine possibly the only map to able to get the elite candles, which I'm actually okay with, but I know a lot of people don't like it because the spawn rate for them is so bad, and sometimes you only get 1 or 2 per 3 or 5 rounds, and the Megatons are very tanky too. Not only had to deal with zombies, but you had to deal with them being split too. But to me, I really don't mind it. After all, they go down pretty quick. After all, the Mimic and Mangler go down pretty quick, so that's why they don't count as elites. I'm not sure how they could do it. Maybe they can, maybe I get 2 kills and count as elite, and maybe same thing with the Mangler. But who knows? But yeah, I actually very enjoyed this map, and I'm gonna play a lot more with it. Thank you for watching, everyone. Until next time, farewell, and have a wonderful day, everyone.